Welcome back, fifth graders. We are here with Module 2, Lesson 8. And in this lesson, hopefully you guys can fluently multiply multi-digit whole numbers using standard algorithm. So we're getting away from the area model and we're getting to the standard algorithm of multiplying our numbers. The reason why I have fluently in all capital letters is because as a fifth grader, we need to make sure we are doing the multiplication using standard algorithm consistently correct. So we know all of the steps, we know it routinely, and we can't really make those silly mistakes. We just got to make sure that we're doing it correctly because that's a big skill in fifth grade. So let's go over to the next lesson and the next page and let's get started. All right, so for number 1, they want us to estimate the products first. They want to say, hey, what is the about answer to kind of guide us to make sure that our exact answer is close to it. They also want us to solve by using the standard algorithm. And then kind of use, the next sentence is use your estimate to check the reasonableness of our product. Remember, the product is the answer to the multiplication problem. So there on this page, there are a ton of problems to do, and we're not going to be able to do all of them. These are just for more of practice purposes. We're going to do 1 or 2 and then move on to the word problems. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to really zoom in to one of the problems because the space they provide you isn't enough. And if we have to, we'll go down below to the next problem to finish the actual problem that we're working on. So do the best you can to actually keep all of the work in the space provided. I know it's not big enough, but try to keep your printing a little bit smaller so we can fit all of it in. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to have to estimate each factor, each number, to say, hey, what is the answer going to be close to? So I went ahead and did my approximate equal sign. It's the wavy equal sign. And I'm going to say 739 is closer to 700 than it is 800. And I'm going to multiply it. And 442 is closer to 400 than it is 500. And so if I take my 2 basic math facts of 7 and 4, that's going to give me 28. And since there are 2 zeros in 700 and 2 zeros in 400, we're going to add 4 zeros to the end of 28 to give us 280,000. So our answer is going to be somewhere hopefully close to this when we actually find the actual precise product. So let's get started by setting up the problem. So I went ahead and put 739 on top, 442 on the bottom. Because there's 3 digits in 442, I'm going to have 3 partial products before I add them up to get the final product. So now I'm going to multiply by the 2 ones. So 2 times 9, that's 18. Carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. And then 2 times 7 is 14. So 4 in the hundreds, 1 in the thousands. I'm done multiplying by the 2 ones and I'm crossing the numbers up on top. I know I'm going to have to multiply by the 4 tens, so that means my answer in the partial product is going to start underneath the 7, and I'm going to put a 0 placeholder. So now I'm going to do 4 times 9, that's 36. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 more is 15, so put the 1 on the 7 and the 5 underneath the 4, and 4 times 7 is 28, plus 1 is 29. All right, so now I'm done with the tens. I'm crossing the numbers up on top, and now I'm ready to go ahead and multiply by the 400s. So put that line in the hundreds column. That tells you that you're going to need to put 2 0 placeholders. And then we're going to multiply 4 times 9 again. Since we're doing the 4 again, we pretty much all we need to do for a shortcut is write these numbers 2956 in the third partial product, and that would be the same answer. So I'm going to put a 6 in the hundreds, I'm going to put a 5 in the thousands, I'm going to put a 9 in the 10,000s, and a 2 in the 100,000s. And I'm going to add those all together. So in green, I'm going to add up my numbers. I got 8 ones. 7 plus 6 is 13. I'm going to bring down my 3. I'm going to regroup my 1 in the hundreds. Now I've got 1, 6, 5, and 4. Well, I know that 6 and 4 gives us 10, and then plus 5 is 15, plus 1 more is 16. So I'm going to put a 6 and then add another 1. I know that out of these 4 numbers, 1 plus 9 is 10, plus another 1 is 15, plus 1 more is 16. And then I'm going to add these 3 numbers. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 2 is 12. So put down my 2 and then carry my 1. And in the 100,000s, that's going to give me 3. So we're going to then put our comma in between the 2 6s. So our overall final answer is 326,638. Now when we want to compare it to our estimate, we want to compare it up here to the 280,000. You might say, whoa, we're way above 280,000. Don't be alarmed because, yeah, it's a big gap between our estimate and our precise answer. And the reason is because we actually rounded down in both numbers. And actually 739 and 442 are kind of in the middle between 700 and 800. So going down that much is going to give us a number that's kind of not close to our reasonable estimate. If, for instance, we had the answer of 3,268 and then we compared it, we would say, whoa, we are really far off, but we're not really that super far off with our answer right here. So remember, when we're fluently trying to multiply these numbers together, fluently means knowing all the steps, knowing how many partial products you're going to have, knowing that you're going to have to add after you find your partial products, knowing that you're going to have to cross off numbers on top so that you can multiply with the next numbers. So a lot of steps to memorize and understand. Just make sure that we're fluently doing this correctly every time so that you can master that 5th grade standard. Now I kind of moved the page around, but if you had to actually write the first problem and you had to come over in the F column, that's okay. We're going to go over to the E problem and start working on that one. So let's first quickly estimate 3,502 is close to, that's kind of right in the middle between 3,000 and 4,000. So I'm going to round up to 4,000. 656 is close to 700. It's actually kind of in the middle. So let's say, kind of going back to our first problem that we did, we have a 4 and a 7 as a basic math fact. That's 28. And then we have to add 3 zeros there, 2 zeros there. So we have to add 5 zeros behind 28. And that's going to tell us that our answer is going to be in the millions, 2,800,000. That's kind of our goal, to hopefully see that our exact answer should be close to. Something to realize, since we rounded up both numbers, our answer that we find hopefully correctly is going to be smaller than our estimate. So we're going to get a number smaller than 2,800,000. All right, quickly, I set it up, our problem. I put 656 on the bottom. It has 3 digits. That means I'm going to have 3 partial products before I add. So just keep that in mind. We have 3 times that we're going to multiply here to get 3 partial products. So we're going to go ahead and multiply the 6 times the 2. That's 12. Bring down my 6, carry my 1. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 1 more is 1. 6 times 5 is 30, so put your 0 in the hundreds and your 3 above the 3 in the thousands. And then 6 times 3 is 18, plus 2 more is 21. So we're going to put a 1 in the thousands and the 2 in the 10,000s. I'm done multiplying by the ones. I'm crossing off the numbers up on top. I know I need to start my answer in the tens column, so I need a 0 placeholder. 5 times 2 is 10, so carry your 1, bring down your 0. 5 times 0 is 0, and make sure you add the 1 again, so it's 1. 5 times 5 is 25, so put down your 5 in the thousands, and then the 2 above the 3 that you crossed off. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 more is 17. And so now I'm going to go ahead and cross off the tens, cross off the numbers up on top. I'm now multiply by this 6 in the hundreds. That means my answer needs to start in the hundreds, and I need to put 2 zeros. So hopefully that you understand this 6, when I multiply it by the 2 and the 0 and the 5 and the 3, is the same numbers when I did the 6 the first time. So I can, right now, if I wanted to, I could do 6 times 2 and do all that work, or I could take this number that I wrote up here in my first partial product to write in my third partial product to save some time. So I have 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. There's my third partial product. I'm ready to add. So I got 2 plus 0 is 2. 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 plus 1 plus 2 is 3. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. 2 plus 7 is 9, plus 0 is 9. And then we have 1 plus 1 is 2. And then 2 plus nothing is nothing. So I got 2, oops, comma in the wrong place. A comma in between 7 and 3, and a comma between the 2 2's in the front. So I have 2,297,312. So I'm comparing this to my estimate. I did mention that this exact number is going to be smaller than 2,800,000 because we rounded both numbers up. So, and I got 2 million, and it looks like it's in a reasonable spot. So I'm going to say this is my final answer. So if you had to go over into the H column, that's fine. Let's jump over to I and let this be our last one on this page. So let's quickly do some estimation. Do my estimation sign. 987 is going to be close to 1,000 because you round up. And then 3,105 is going to be close to 3,000. So basic math fact of 1 and 3, that's going to give you a 3, and you're going to have to add the 3 and the 3 zeros in 1,000 and 3 zeros in 3,000 to give you 6 zeros. So our answer is going to be somewhere close to 1,000,000. So here's the thing. We actually might get a very, very close number to our estimation because when we rounded up to 1,000, that wasn't a big jump. And when we rounded down to 3,000, that wasn't a big jump down. So we might kind of get something really close to our estimation. We'll have to see. Now, here's what kids or fifth graders will end up doing that might cause some problems. They might actually take 987 and then put that on top and then put 3,105 and they'll line up like that, and that's not correct because it's actually not lined up to do your multiplication correctly. So I would strongly urge you to follow this example of switching the numbers so that the number 3,105 is on top. And so I had to move my numbers over to the right more so I can multiply. To put the 987 on the bottom, because that would give you 3 partial products. If you lined everything up and had this big number on the bottom, you could absolutely multiply with 3,105 on the bottom, but you would have 4 partial products before adding. I don't know about you, but I'd rather have 3 partial products instead of doing 4 partial products. And now we're getting ready to multiply. We got 7 times 5 is 35. Then we got 7 times 0, that's going to be 0, add 3 more, so 0 plus 3 is 3. 7 times 1 is 7, that's going to be 7 in the hundreds column. And 7 times 3 is 21, that's going to be a 1 in the thousands and a 2 in the 10,000s. I'm crossing off the ones place value in 987. I'm done multiplying by the ones, crossing the number 3 up on top. I'm putting a 0 placeholder because I want my answer to start in the tens column since I'm multiplying by the 8 tens in 987. So I have 8 times 5 is 40. So bring up your 4, bring down your 0. 8 times 0, that's 0, and 0 plus 4 is going to give you 4. 8 times 1 will give you 8. 8 times 3 will give you 24. So everything's lined up. I'm done multiplying by the tens. I'm crossing the numbers up on top. I need to start my answer in the third partial product in the hundreds column, and I need to add 2 0 placeholders. Now I'm doing 9 times 5, that's 45, so carry your 4, bring down your 5. 9 times 0, that's 0, and then add 4 more, so 0 plus 4 is 4. 9 times 1 is 9, and 9 times 7 is 27. So there are my 3 partial products that I'm going to have to add carefully. And so 5 plus 0 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 0 plus 0 is 3. And now I'm going to do 7 plus 4 plus 5. Well, I know that 5 plus 4, that's 9. And then 9 plus 7, that will give me 16. So I'm going to put a 6 down and then put my 1 in the thousands to add. So I'm going to add my 1 plus 8 plus 4 plus 1. Well, I know that 8 plus 1 plus another 1, that's going to give me 10, and add the 4, that's going to give me 14. And I'm going to go ahead and regroup my 1 in the 10,000s. So I have 9, 4, 2, and 1. So I know 9 and 1 is 10, and I know 2 and 4 is 6, so 10 plus 6 is 16, so 6 in the 10,000s, and regroup my 1 in the 100,000s. And then 2 plus 7 is 9, plus 1 more is 10, and regroup my 1 in the 100,000s, and, the millions, and then 2 plus 1 is 3. And so you can look at it, we have 3,064,635. So when you compare it to our estimation, it's pretty close, and that's the reason because when we rounded, we really didn't round that far down or that far up. So our answer is pretty close to our estimation. So let's go over and do some word problems. All right, let's do number 3 word problem. A club has some money, so let's box in the word some money, to purchase new chairs. The reason why I'm having you box some money or circle some money is because it's kind of giving you a clue that you really don't know how much money they had to buy new chairs. So put a little question mark above that. It says, after buying 353 chairs, at $199 each, so I circled those two, there was $1,068 remaining. That's kind of important. The question says, how much money did the club have at first or at the beginning? So let's quickly draw a tape diagram to kind of model what we're trying to find and what we already know. So kind of make it small because we need to use some of the space to do some more math. So here's our tape diagram. So here's kind of what we know. We know they bought chairs, right? So I'm going to kind of say, here are the chairs. And how to find the chairs, we know they bought 353 sorry, 55 chairs, but it's at $199 each. So I'm going to need to figure that out. The next box that we have is leftover, what they have remaining. So that means they had $1,068 remaining. And the question says, how much money did they have at first? So that means all the money up on top of our tape diagram, when we figure out how much the chairs cost and we add that to how much they have left, this is what we're trying to find right here, how much they had at first. So we're going to need to first figure out how much the chairs cost. We do know that there was 355 chairs that they bought, and they bought each of them at $199. So we can multiply and set it up like this. This would give us a clue that 199 has 3 partial products because it has 3 digits. I do want to recognize that you could also, I'll do it in blue, you can also flip the numbers and do 199, multiply it by 355, and hopefully you get the same answer if you did everything correct with this problem that we did on the left. You will still have to get 3 partial products because there's 3 digits in 355. But if we do everything correct, these both answers, the final answers, should be the same. So I'm going to actually go ahead and erase the 199 times 355 and just do what I had at the beginning. And I'm going to go ahead and multiply it by the 9 ones right here. I'm going to do 9 times 5 is 45. Bring down, or carry my 4 over, bring down my 5. 9 times 5 is 45 again, plus 4 more is going to be 49. Put my 4 in the above the 3 and bring down my 9. 9 times 3, that's 27, plus 4 more, that's going to be 31. And now I'm done multiplying by the ones, or the 9 ones. I'm crossing the numbers up on top. Now I'm going to do the 9 tens, and like we've done in the past, since I already did the 9 ones, my 9 tens are going to be the same numbers as my first partial product, but it's going to be starting in a different placement. My number needs to start in the tens, so I need a 0 placeholder. And so now I'm going to take that original first partial product and just rewrite it again in the second partial product. 5, 9, 1, 3. So I found a strategy to help me not do so much work since the 2 numbers are the same, the 2 nines and the different place values. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply the 100s. This one should be easy too, because anything times 1 will be the number you're multiplying. But I need to start it in the hundreds, and so I need 2 0 placeholders. 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 3 is 3. So everything's lined up. I have 3 partial products I'm ready to add. 5 plus those 2 zeros is 5. 9 plus 5, that's going to give me 14. So I'm going to bring down, regroup my 1, and then bring down my 4. And so now I have 1 plus 9 right there, that's 10. Plus 5 is 15, plus 1 more is 16. So bring down your 6 and regroup your 1. And now I have 3 plus 1, that's 4. Plus the 5, that would give you 9. Plus the 1, that would give you 10. So 0, and then regroup your 1. And then 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. So it looks like the chairs cost $70,000, $70,645. So if they had $1,068 left, we want to know how much they had at first. So you're going to actually take the price of the computers and you're going to add what's left over to give you your money that they started with. So everything's lined up. So 5 plus 8, that's 13. 6 plus 4, that's 10. Plus 1 more is 11. So regroup your 1, bring down your 1. 0 plus 6, that's 6. Plus 1 more is 7. 0 plus 1 is some 1, and then 7 plus nothing. So looks like they started off with $71,713. So we want to make sure that we have our sentence to answer the question. So I'm going to put the club started, or had, $, $71,713 at first before buying new chairs, period. So there you go. That's what we're going to finish off today is this word problem. Remember, we're trying to fluently multiply numbers using standard algorithm. So fluently means, once again, keeping the same patterns, the same steps over and over, so you're not making silly mistakes, or you know what to do. And then most important thing is keeping track of everything lined up in the place values, keeping track of taking the numbers up on top and crossing them off when you're done, so that you can quickly multiply to get your answer. So good job today. We just did a few, but these take a lot of time when you have a lot of digits to multiply. So keep up that practice, and that ends our lesson for today, and I will see you on the next one for some more word problems on lesson 9. All right, see you guys later.